Hi, I'm Audrey, a member of the League of Women Voters of Vermont. You may have heard terms in the news like redistricting and discussions of the census data and a change in voting districts, and wondered, what does this mean for me as a voter? And as the deadline for the final maps comes up and debates in the State House increase, it's important to know the process that will shape our voting districts for the next decade. Every 10 years, the Census Bureau conducts the census, a nationally conducted survey that records population trends, including age, sex, and living arrangement. This information is useful for all different levels of government to know which way our country, states, cities, and towns are trending. When the census data is finalized, states adjust both federal and state voting districts to reflect the new population. Vermont is one federal voting district because we're a small state, meaning we only have one legislator in the House of Representatives. The legislature is now using the new census data to adjust both House and Senate districts. They're finding the best way to make sure that everyone's voice in the state house is equal. The maps are created by the Vermont Legislative Apportionment Board, or LAB. The LAB is a tripartisan group that has met extensively to debate and create many different maps and weigh their pros and cons. You can find every version of their maps on the Secretary of State's website. New districts must account for how the population has shifted in Vermont since 2010, the last time the census was conducted. Our state population increased by almost 3%, but 90% of that increase was in the Northwest, in the Senate districts of Chittenden, Franklin, Grand Isle, and Lamoille. Also, a new law limits the number of senators to 3 for each district. Up till now, Senate districts have been close to county lines, but that's no longer possible for Chittenden County, which would need to divide into at least 3 smaller districts. Not only that, but it's an incredible ask for people to run efficient campaigns and conduct meaningful voter outreach when you cover triple, quadruple, or 6 times as many people. The amount of money needed to cover such a wide geographic area and larger number of voters is unfair comparatively to other Senate campaigns across the state. The proposed changes to the Senate map creates 30 single-member districts, with Chittenden County being split into 8 individual districts. Each of these districts across the state represent 21,000 people. The House is also facing a change to single-member districts, as opposed to the current multi-member district maps. Each House district would represent around 4,200 people in the single-member district maps. So right now we're seeing a lot about redistricting in the news because there's an April 1st deadline put in place by the Secretary of State's office. And no, this isn't some April Fool's Day prank. This is so the Secretary of State's office can print and organize all of the ballots for the August 9th primaries. So where are we in this process? On January 13th, the House voted against an amendment to H589 that would create the single-member districts. The House Government Operations Committee has voted on the multi-member district map, with the LAB voting for the single-member districts. But there are still more rounds of votes, testimony collection, and debates, so nothing is finalized yet. Remember, the House has to have 2 separate votes on district maps, one for the draft map and another for the final version. There's still time to make your voice heard on the redistricting of our brave little state. You can contact your House rep or members of the House Government Operations Committee. It's important to make sure that your voice is heard, especially on a decision that's going to last the next 10 years. Thank you to VTDigger for reporting on the redistricting, and to Johnna Ferguson for creating this helpful guide on the League of Women Voters of Vermont's website. Special thanks to the Simmons University Comm Lab for letting me borrow their equipment. And also shout out to the Secretary of State's website for having great resources and interactive maps so you can compare current maps with the new proposed ones. Again, I'm Audrey with the League of Women Voters of Vermont, and I hope you all have a great day.